AV revolution has arrived. After so many years, with Waymo's success and Tesla's success, it is very, very clear autonomous vehicles has finally arrived.
Jensen Huang, the Nvidia CEO, just made the boldest move of 2025 at CES, and it's aimed directly at who? At Tesla, exactly. What you're about to learn will fundamentally change how you view the AI computing sector. Now, I've spent years as an investor, and I can tell you this is a pivotal moment that most analysts are completely missing. For those who need the essence right away, well, Nvidia is positioning itself to compete with Tesla. Not just in autonomous vehicles, but in the entire physical AI space, from robotics to edge computing, and the numbers are nothing like what we've ever seen before. $3 trillion market size by 2030. And for us investors, this opens up the biggest opportunity of our lifetime. Look, what I'm seeing here right now, it reminds me of the Apple-Qualcomm dynamic from 2008, but the stakes are much higher. And speaking of high stakes, imagine if you could foresee and predict almost every breakout about to happen here as AI goes physical, and I'll explain what that means in a moment. Imagine if you bought the stocks before they were about to explode and you got out near the top. Would be lovely, wouldn't it? What would life look like for you if that was possible? It'd be amazing, wouldn't it? You just sit there, you'd be chilled, you have lots of money, you have time, everyone's jealous of you, or your family loves you, all that kind of lovely stuff, right? Golden retrievers all around us. Now, I have something for you that I want to just give you. I've recorded a masterclass that's a combination of everything that I learned as a banker and as a trader over the last decade plus. And it's the exact strategies that I use that have helped me hit financial freedom. And I'm going to reveal the 3 simple steps for you of how I outperform the market. Now, I know it sounds too good to be true, and most of you won't watch it. You just continue to struggle because you think it's easier that way. But you don't need any prior experience to apply the system. You can be a complete beginner. You don't need tons of money either. So go and watch the masterclass instead of this video. Seriously, felixprehn.org/get free, because that will actually teach you something. It'll give you skills that you'll have for the rest of your life. This video will give you some really unique insight for the next couple of weeks and months, maybe some ideas for some investments to set up, but it won't improve your skills. This is information, but the masterclass is skills. So what do you prefer? Lifelong improvement of your skills and your abilities, or a little tidbit? Well, you got to make that decision yourself. I can't do that for you, but the link is down below at the top of the description. Right, so what exactly happened at CES 2025? Jensen Huang just presented something which makes our previous theory and fantasies come into reality. Nvidia isn't just pushing the boundaries, they're completely redefining what's possible with AI. So first, let's talk about agentic AI. Imagine having a digital version of me. Not just answering questions, but actively managing your investment portfolio, researching companies, executing trades based on your strategy. That's what agentic AI does. It thinks and acts independently on your behalf. But here's where it gets mind-blowing. Physical AI. This isn't just software living in the cloud anymore. We're talking about AI that understands and interacts with the real world. The foundation for this, it's the new Blackwell GPU architecture. And these numbers are absolutely mental. 4 times more efficient than the previous generation. That's like going from a bicycle to a Ferrari in one leap. Nvidia also introduced something called Cosmos. Think of it as a virtual physics playground where AI learns how the real world works. Winston's tried to fetch a virtual stick in it, but, he got distracted by some food on the way. That's usually what happens. But let me break down these achievements here, because this stuff's really important. First up, Nvidia's Llama Nemotron. This isn't just another language model, it's a complete framework that's revolutionizing how businesses implement AI. Let me show you what makes this different. Traditional AI chatbots, and I'm sure you've tried them, they are basically like a single super smart kind of intern. But what Nvidia is built is more like an entire corporate department that works 24/7 without a break. Imagine AI agents that can analyze market trends, generate financial reports, monitor supply chains, handle customer service, and all work together seamlessly, sharing information and actually making decisions. But here is where it gets really interesting. Physical AI. Nvidia's Cosmos is a platform that's essentially teaching AI how the real world works. And think about this. To teach a robot to pick up a cup, you traditionally need thousands of real attempts. But with Thor-driven robotic simulations, you can run millions of virtual attempts to do exactly this in the time it takes to do one physical test. And the names get silly, but the next thing is the Isaac Groot platform. And it's insane. It's like having a virtual training ground where robots can practice all tasks endlessly without any real-world risks. So one real-world demonstration can be transformed into billions, trillions, quadrillions of virtual scenarios. So what's Nvidia just done here? Well, they've solved the bottleneck introduced by traditional data collection. And the implications are massive. What used to take years of development and testing can now be accomplished in days. But here is what makes it truly revolutionary. Remember that Tesla isn't just collecting data. They're creating what I call a perpetual learning machine. Every Tesla on the road is essentially a data collection device feeding information back to their Dojo supercomputer. And we're talking billions of miles of real-world driving data from 7 million plus cars. And that's not just competitive advantage, it's a moat that gets wider every single day. And then there is Optimus, the robot. While everyone else is talking about robots, Tesla is actually building a general purpose humanoid robot that could change manufacturing, logistics, and home assistance. And Musk is expecting millions of robots to be produced at scale by Tesla by 2030. Millions of them. It's sort of the sort of thing you watch in sci-fi movies, right? I've talked about competition earlier. And Nvidia and Tesla are taking different approaches to the same massive market. Think of it like this. Nvidia is selling the tools and the infrastructure, like the pickaxes, right? Tesla is building the end product, like mining the gold. And the potential market size, well, we're talking about multiple trillion-dollar industries being transformed, industries that didn't actually exist. And the autonomous vehicle market alone is expected to reach 2 trillion. That's 2,000 billion by the end of this decade, which is only 5 years away, right? And then in the agentic AI space, Nvidia is providing the computing power that's driving everything from customer service to financial analysis. And Tesla at the same time could potentially license their real-time decision-making AI to other industries. In physical AI, Nvidia is creating the universal toolbox that any company can use to build robots and autonomous systems, while Tesla is focused on creating specific products that could redefine industries. And yes, I know Jensen has mentioned partnerships with Toyota and other EV and AV companies, but you know what? It reminds me, as I mentioned at the beginning, of the Apple and Qualcomm dynamic earlier. Everyone thought Apple and Qualcomm back in the day were destined to be mortal enemies, but look what actually happened. Both companies ended up dominating their respective lanes in the smartphone revolution. And the same thing is happening here. Tesla's vertical integration strategy, building everything in-house, isn't actually competing with Nvidia's horizontal platform approach. They're just different paths to the same destination. So let me break this down. Tesla is like Apple. They control everything from the chips to the final product. They're building a closed, perfectly optimized ecosystem. Nvidia is like Qualcomm. They're enabling everyone else to compete. So they're powering Toyota's autonomous efforts, Mercedes' next-gen vehicles, and countless robotics startups. But here's the thing. The market is so massive that both approaches can actually thrive. We're talking about multiple trillion-dollar industries being shaped as we speak here. So for once, we don't have a winner-takes-all scenario. In fact, this competition might actually benefit both companies. Tesla's success validates the market for everyone else, while Nvidia's platform accelerates overall industry innovation. So the real question isn't who wins between Nvidia and Tesla, it's how we as investors can position ourselves to benefit from both their successes. Now, if you're wondering how to trade these stocks, well, let's have a look at Nvidia first. So I've pulled up a chart here in tradevision.io, which is the platform we build to give you Wall Street quality data. Literally the data we have Only hedge funds have this. And the key thing is here our support and resistance indicator, this one here. And that tells you what? It tells you where the market's positioned. It tells you that market makers, the people on the other side of your trades, have to buy at 130 and they have to sell at 150. And guess what just happened? Well, guess what? They sold off. We hit the 150 for 2 days in a row, which is totally to be expected. And when we were going down, what was happening here? Well, guess what? They were buying. Right? So very, very useful information. So just get trade vision just for that one indicator alone because it's insanely useful. Now, second thing I see is we actually had this downward trend in here that I painted in purple, right? You see that purple line there? Well, are we still above that? Yes, right? Are we above the most important moving average line there is, which is this yellow line here, that one. See that one here? That one that goes here, that one there, I'm painting over. That's the 50-day moving average line. Yeah, we bounced off that actually at the end of the day, and we moved a little bit higher post-market. So was this a cataclysmic, horrible, the worst day in the world, everybody jump out of the window type day? No, it wasn't. Now, could we go a little bit lower? Yeah, people have already forgotten that we were trading $10 lower just in the Christmas period here. So yeah, of course we can go a little bit lower. Nothing particularly wrong with that. And it's just a bunch of things happening at the moment. Bond yields are very high. Trump is talking about renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and some people feel a bit weird about that, and that's okay, but overall the macro looks actually pretty good. So I don't think this is a problem. I also think inflation is going to come down even with tariffs. And even if the tariffs cause massive inflation, just hold that thought for a moment, right? Think about it. Everything went like twice as expensive. What would happen in year 2? Would inflation still be going higher compared to year 1? No, it wouldn't, would it? It'd probably start declining because people would manufacture stuff in the US at lower costs than the import costs. So even if he does cause inflation, it'll be a temporary blip for 12 months, which means it doesn't bloody matter because the market is more forward-looking. Well, at least the smart people in the market are. So what are we seeing here? It's a total nothing burger. So would I be buying Nvidia right now at these levels? Well, I mean, I would prefer to buy as it breaks out above 150 with some serious volume so that we take out these resistance here, the 150. But it depends obviously on your time horizon. If your time horizon is really, really super long, it's probably a decent time to buy it anyway. Now, is that financial advice? No, of course it isn't. It depends on your portfolio and your setup and your situation and your risk management and a gazillion things. And I'm somebody who always has a stop loss on every position I have because I don't believe in hodling stocks because that means it makes you bag holders, and bag holders suffer, right? Look at Tesla. Tesla in the last 2 years is down 1.3%. You bought Tesla 2 years ago, you'd be down 1.3%. The market in that period has gone up over 50%. So what would have happened? Well, you'd be like, well, I'll be okay, it'll go up, I'll make money in the long run. Yes, true, but you have actually lost 50% compared to your boring neighbor who buys the index fund. You think you're so smart with the Tesla thing. We're down 50%. So hodling, generally speaking, is a really sucky strategy. Now, if you'd followed our little buy and sell signals here, the ones in green, well, you'd be up 57%, which would have actually beaten the market, which would be slight improvement. Now, could you have done better? Yeah, you could have done, of course, and we're up about 180% or something on our present Tesla trade alone. So where do we exit? Well, there is a little bit of nuance to that, and there are a couple of rules. And if you watch the masterclass, then you'll know a lot more about that than 99% of people already. But I would generally look at the 50-day moving average line as the flag on the ground, where we definitely get out. So this is the 50-day moving average line. So are we above it? Yes, we're above it. So is it a problem? No, I don't think it's a problem. And I also think that Tesla's going to have a tremendous year. But if you are in stocks that move significantly, what should you expect? Significantly more movement, right? This thing was trading at $200 just. Now it's trading at almost $400. It's doubled in the space of a couple of months. Do you think for a 10 or 20 or 30% pullback is out of this world? No, of course it isn't. It's completely to be expected. But we're not seeing it right now. We're just not. And we're bouncing off the support line here at 375, which is that green line there. We're nicely above it. So what happened 2 days ago? We hit our head, the market makers, the bastards sold, and yesterday we just moved back into the same territory we were in 3 days before when nobody was panicking. So take a chill pill. Stocks like this are volatile. They move a lot. If we go a lot lower, for me, that sits at about 360. Yeah, then I'll exit. I'll take profits. And I'll come back to it when it starts rallying again, because I don't like to sit in something that isn't performing. But Tesla is going to deliver autonomous driving in 2025. That's my view. And that means revenue and valuation multiples are going to absolutely fucking explode. There, I said it. And that's before we talk about robots or anything else that we just talked about. So I think Tesla has a very, very long runway up here to being possibly the first $10 trillion stock plus. I think Nvidia will fight them for the spot. There are a couple of other candidates out there too, but Tesla is definitely up there. And it's going to be the companies that embrace this new world, this innovation, this change, and not the ones that don't. So if you're scared of innovation and change, okay, there are index funds for you, and that's a decent way to make some decent money. It's a heck of a lot better than what most people do. But if you want to make some real money potentially and actually beat the market potentially, well, you can't be in index funds 100%. You've got to do something that's a little bit more advanced, but simple and rule-based and automated. I do it in less than 2 hours a week. Less than 2 hours a week I spend trading. Isn't that crazy? And then I do a little bit more research and I share that with you, and hopefully you will get the benefit of that. So what are you going to do? You're going to do what? You're going to go and get felixprehn.org/get free. You want to watch the masterclass, and you come away with it going, wow, really? That's a thing? I didn't know that. How did I not know that? How does everybody not know that? That's what I thought when I was taught this. So check it out. felixprehn.org/get free. If you enjoyed the video, share it with a friend, and I hope to see you on the next one. Nvidia just dropped $1 billion on 2 AI companies. While everyone's focused on the price tag, they're missing something